So what have you been doing here?
I've managed to create an overall dark green of the right sort of colour with some counter shading, so that the corners looked a bit darker, the edges of panels look darker because it sort of brings them out a bit more. Um, all looking rather clean at that point. So since then, it's a process of adding more weathering very gradually. So I started off with a black oil paint wash, very thin. You thin it out and you touch it in with a brush into corners and crevices, and it wicks along the crevices and outlines them more so that they stand out better. So corners and things, that kind of thing, and small details stand out better. So I did that. What I've been doing today is to start adding dust weathering, because inevitably, travelling across France in the summer of '44, there's a lot of dust about and crud, and it's adding all that effect. So
I can't see any dust.
no, it's still drying out. I might have to
Okay.
add
Oh, I
add
can see.
another
Yeah, I
layer.
suppose I can see some.
It's certainly shifted the shade of the green. It's looking less clean. Well, to me, anyway. It's, and you can see it's still drying out. There'll be under there where all the tracks are running. There'll be an awful lot of mud and dust. So I've added a layer of light dust, darker dust. I mean, there are pigments, powdered pigments, and I've got several of those. And you add some water and some acrylic medium, and make it fairly thin, and brush it on in the right places. So I'm hoping I've done that. I've also just painted the tracks, which just came plain black, which doesn't make sense. So I've painted a sort of rust brown colour. They're drying. I will have to then dry brush steel colour over the top where they've been worn from running along roads and across fields and stuff. So there's a sort of faint steel colour comes through, and proceed from there. The idler wheels are a bit too shiny as yet on the outer edges, because they would grind along the track, on the inside edge of the track. So the inside edge of the track is going to need to be steel coloured as well and worn, and the wheels and the driving wheels, I've put a bit of steel on those already, but the edges of those big idler wheels don't look right yet, so I'm going to have to put a sort of more steely, even grey colour on, I think.
What are you looking at in this book?
I'm just sort of looking up references again. I've started to wonder whether the driver's hatch on the hull is at the wrong angle. I was just starting to look up just to see whether it needs to be laid down a bit more, because it's if I'm going to have it, my aim is to get it looking like that. There's a photograph to back that up. So it looks about the right angle. But it means in that position the turret won't be able to rotate. They wouldn't have done it. This is taken in the midst of a long road march, with the barrel mounted on a forward-facing gun crutch, which protects the bearings of the gun itself. If the barrel's waggling about on a road, it mangles the bearings for the elevation of the gun. So it would appear they built locally made crutches at the front instead of the one at the back is still standing up. They left those on, but sticking the turret around the back didn't make a lot of sense if they were potential for running into combat situations. So they had them mounted at the front. Probably had them made by local blacksmiths or something. Wouldn't surprise me. So that's what I've got to.
Bon. Merci.
Ta-ra.